Welcome to Lesson 9 of Google Sheets for Beginners. Lesson 8 was a little bit of a doozy. That was a long one, but that's because filters are one of the most powerful aspects of Google Sheets. This one's going to be shorter and simpler. We're going to talk about removing duplicates as well as find and replace. And these are two very simple concepts, but very handy. So I'm going to disappear so we can see the spreadsheet here. So removing duplicates, that comes in handy. Why? So this sheet is a sheet we've been using, but you can see it's a lot longer. And the reason it's longer is because I copied a bunch of these people and then re-added them. So now we have duplicates in this list. And we don't need, anyone should not be on this list more than once. Each person only needs to be on this list once. There's no reason or need to have someone on here twice. That can mess us up. It'll mess us up if we're counting. It'll mess us up in a lot of ways. There are many times when you want to make sure you don't have duplicates of a specific thing. Now, if you look at the grade column, that's a good example. Of course you won't duplicate grades because you're going to have multiple people all in the 9th grade. But in the names, maybe you know there should not be duplicates of names. Or to be safe in this situation, dealing with school kids, I'd probably go student ID because I know each kid only has one ID, but there could potentially be 2 Peter Parkers enrolled in school. So we're going to remove duplicates. How do you do that? Pretty simple. You go to Data, you go to Remove Duplicates. It'll let you know that it selected the table. Now you saw I didn't select the table myself before I came in here. If you don't select the table yourself, then it just guesses at what you want the table to be, and it lets you know 29 rows and 11 columns. But you could also, yourself, you could use that Control A to select the entire table, or if it's a small table, of course, you can drag to select it. But Control A is usually the best way. But even if you don't select it, as long as you're inside of the table, you've clicked a cell inside of the table, when you go to Data and you hit Remove Duplicates, it's going to automatically select the table you're inside of. Now you can select this data as header if you want to make sure that that's not included. And I'm going to select all, and I'm going to go to Student ID, which is at the beginning, column B, Student ID. So that's this column right here, Student ID, and I'm going to hit Remove Duplicates. And you can see there were 8 duplicate rows that were found and removed. 20 unique rows remain. So that got rid of all any row that had a duplicate. Once this number was in here once, if it ever saw it again, it removed it. I'm going to undo that just so you can see all this data. Now if I sort by this, so let's throw that filter on there and go up and sort by student ID, you can see that there are duplicates. 147855, Donna Riley's in there twice. This one's only once. Heather Fugue's in there twice. Abe Smothers is in there twice. So you can see there's a lot of duplicates there. And to try to go through and delete each one of these extra rows separately, individually, would be a real pain in the rear. So that's why remove duplicates can be so handy. Anytime you think there might be duplicate information that there shouldn't be, that's how you can do it. Of course, you only want to use that on something that you know is completely unique. Like I said, in a school, huge school, name may not be unique. There may be 2 students with the same first and last name, so that may or may not work. But if you're working on a list where you know that's not the case, then you could remove duplicates based on the name. Student ID number in this case was the best thing, or student CID, because no 2 students should ever have the same one. But that just gives you a way to quickly remove duplicates and make sure you have only just one record for each person or each item, whatever it is that you're looking into. So that's remove duplicates. That's how that works. Again, you can select all, or you can just be clicked inside here, and then you go to Data, and then you go to Remove Duplicates. You can, if you wanted to look for duplicates in multiple columns, you can select multiple columns. Generally speaking, you're removing duplicates based on a single column, but you can do it on multiple columns. And you select data has header row if your data does have headers, so that you can then just select based on the header that you want to remove by, and then you click remove duplicates, and it always lets you know how many duplicates it found and how many remain. Remember, if you make a mistake, if you ever do this on the wrong row and you're like, oh, wrong column, and you're like, wait a second, that was the wrong one, there could have been legitimate things, and you just either click this little undo button, or you can Control Z, which is the undo, so that you're back to your original information and you can try again. And we're going to go redo because we don't need those duplicates there. So that's duplicates. Now let's talk about find. And for this, we're going to go to our big, huge movie database. I'm going to turn off filters to make sure I don't think anything is filtered right now. We'll turn it off. And we're going to use find. So to find something, you hit Control F. That's Control F for find, so that's easy. And you can see find in sheet. So let's say, like this sheet, I know Tom Cruise is on this sheet somewhere, but I don't know where he is, and I need to find him. So I have put that search criteria in there, and you see it found the first instance of that. So I could kind of go over from there and say, okay, this is for Edge of Tomorrow film. I can click this arrow, searches down in the sheet for the next occurrence down, and this arrow, up arrow, searches up in the sheet. Since this is 1 of 6, there's nothing above, but if you click it, it will go back down to the bottom to start over again. So it goes to the bottom of the sheet to number 6 occurrence, and this is for Top Gun. And then you could just go up again, and you could go up again. Now, here's one reason why this could come in handy. Look at number 5. The fifth one is in row J, and row J is cast 3. But then sometimes here he appears in cast 1. So if you just did a filter on the top here, if you just did a filter in cast 1 for Tom Cruise, you would find everything that has Tom Cruise in cast 1, but you wouldn't be finding the ones that have him in cast 3. And a lot of times it's just easier, especially if someone is only in a list once and you just need to find them. You don't want to filter for them. You're just trying to find them so that you can find the other information in their row. Then you just go up here and you search for them, and it's easy enough. So we could, X out of that, and we could go up here and Control F and say Brad Pitt. I don't know if his name is with 1 T's or 2 T's. Let's go Brad Pitt. And there he is, highlighted in green down here at the bottom right. And I can go to the next one. And you see, again, his name is in different columns because there's 3 columns of vectors. It's in this column this time. So by doing a search, it's really easy to find exactly what you're looking for inside of a spreadsheet. Now, there is a more advanced find, and we're going to click the little ellipsis, and that brings up the really big find. You can find and replace, but we're not going to do that right now. We're just going to find, but we're going to, now we have more search criteria. You can search in all the sheets. So that means every sheet, remember we talked in the beginning how any spreadsheet or file has multiple sheets. Each one of these tabs is a different sheet. This would search in every sheet. Or you can say just this sheet, or you can give a specific range. If you only want to look within a specific range, you can say I just want to look in this sheet and a certain range of cells. That's a little more complex. We're not going to really look at that too much. But you can find what you need fairly easily just by saying search this sheet or search all sheets. If you're looking for something that you're not sure if it's on the movie data tab or maybe the directors tab or the actors tab, you could search on all sheets and find them all. Now you can also match the case. If I click that and I say just this sheet, match case, that means if I change this P to a small p, which is not his name, and I say find, look, no entries, because I said you have to exactly match the case that I'm using. Now, if you have this unchecked, then you wouldn't have to capitalize anything. And I can say find, and you see, it's still going to find him because I said it doesn't have to match. I didn't say it had to match the case. The other one is match the entire cell contents. So let's look at this. If I say Tom, and I say find, it's finding Tom Cruise there. It's finding Tom Holland there. But if I say match entire cell contents, that would mean that that whole cell would have to only contain TOM and nothing else. So now if I say find, there are no entries matching. That means there's no cell that only has Tom in it. You also, this one you're not going to use. Search using regular expressions, that is very advanced. So you're not going to use that one. And search within formulas, you're not going to use that one right now. That's a much more advanced class. But using match case or match entire cell contents can come in handy, as well as deciding whether you want to search in just the sheet you're on or all the sheets inside of this file, inside of this spreadsheet. So you can also do replace. So if we said Tom Cruise, replace with the man. And I'm not saying that because I'm a huge Tom Cruise fan. I like him. I think he's an awesome actor and he makes great movies. But I'm not necessarily the biggest Tom Cruise fan in the world. He's just a name that comes to mind easily. So Tom Cruise, and we're going to replace him with the man. We're only going to do it on this sheet. And we're going to say match case because we want to make sure it matches exactly. And in this case, I'm going to say match entire cell contents. Only if the entire cell contains that, we want to replace it with that. And I'm going to say replace all. So it found Tom Cruise in 6 places and it replaced it with the man. So now if I hit Control F, again Control F to find, and I say find Tom Cruise, it's not there. We replaced it all. But if I say find the man, well, we do have the man because I've replaced all the Tom Cruises with the man. Now, here's an interesting one. You see, it also found this movie, The Man with the Iron Fist. Why? Well, because we didn't go to advanced settings to say the entire cell contents. Now, if I say match entire cell contents, now I can say find, and it's not going to find the movie title that has the man in it. It's only going to find the entries that fully just say the man, the man, the man. And if I go in here and say replace the man with Tom Cruise, that's going to look for all instances of the man and replace it with Tom Cruise. And I'm going to say, I could just say replace the one I'm on, but I'm going to say replace all. Replace all 6 instances of the man with Tom Cruise. So it's really easy. Again, it's great for finding specific things. Going back over to our students, if you had a particular name of a person, yeah, that would work. But sometimes you just have an ID. So you just Control F and you type in the ID of the person you're looking for, 344577, and you'll see it found it. Or maybe you only know the beginning. So you could say 344. And you can see there's 2 instances that have 344. So that you get to that first one. That's not it. Let me look to the second one. Oh, there it is. You could, of course, use filter to basically do the same thing. This is just an alternate way. Search and find. Really, really useful, especially if you need to replace something. Being able to find and replace all inside of a sheet to correct a mistake is a good way to do it. Really handy. So anyway, that's how you remove duplicates from your table, and that is how you use Control F to find, to look for specific information, specific text or number inside of a cell. And you can also use find and replace in order to replace, and you can use those other criteria to really narrow it down and make sure that you are finding exactly what you need. So very simple little tools, but very useful. Remove duplicates I use a lot in my job, where I'm downloading a database from this huge database, and a lot of times there are copies in there, and I know that in order to do certain things, I need to make sure there's not more than one record for each person or whatever. So remove duplicates is very useful for that, and then find can be very useful too for the same reason. Often I'll have a big database and I need to find one person inside that database so that I can find their name and then scan over to then find the information in the other column about them, their birth date or their rate of pay or something like that. And so I just Control F and type in their name. Sometimes I'll just use the first name if I'm not sure the spelling, and find them that way. So very useful tools when working with spreadsheets and Google Sheets. Anyway, that's it for this lesson. If you have any questions about what we covered in this lesson, please post them in the comments below. I will do my best to try to answer those as soon as I can. Don't forget to favorite this playlist in order to keep this playlist in your YouTube records and come back to it for future lessons. Subscribe to my channel if you want to check out some of my other videos. I review a lot of product reviews for your house and electronics and cool gadgets to use around the home, as well as I just have videos that are just for fun. So you might want to check out some of those. And don't forget to click that like button if you like this lesson. And if you absolutely are sick of spreadsheets and you're sick of me and you don't ever want to hear from me again, you can click the dislike button. It won't hurt my feelings too bad. Anyway, that's it until the next lesson. So have a great day.